Vancha Kalpara Vaisha Kripa Sindhuve Vacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamini Vinamini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Vishesha Shunyavadi Kashati Deshnadini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So about chapter 10 is about the absolute opulence of the absolute. So first 7 slokas is about understanding how Krishna is unknowable and the source of all. And then the essence of pure bhakti is mentioned in the Chatusloki, that is 10.8 to 11. By the way, Neeraja Mataji have sung Shastri very beautifully. So all of you who likes to take initiation and also who likes to be serious in Krishna consciousness, I would recommend all of you to learn the Shastri by heart and understand the meaning. Without the meaning, Chaitya Darpana Marjanam is of no use. So understand the meaning and learn, because these 8 verses composed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Krishna himself. So it's a part of our daily sadhana. So if you every day recite it, it's going to be by heart for you. So please try to memorize it. Okay. So Chatusloki we'll take in the next class because it needs to be understood clearly. And Arjuna accepting Krishna's supreme position in 12 to 18. So today we'll see about the first 7 slokas. So such questions will be seen in your Bhakti Shastri. Now last time they had closed book exams, the senior batch. They had so many questions like this. The link between chapter 9 and 10, chapter 10 and 11, like that. So chapter 9, Krishna concludes by fixing the mind upon him. Who knows that sloka? Manmana. Does anyone know? 9.34. Very important sloka. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mami vaishyasi yuktevam atmana matparayana. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Krishna says 4 things. Manmana. Think about Krishna. Madbhakto, become his devotee. Matyaji, worship Krishna, and Mam Namaskuru, offer obeisances to Krishna. If we do that, we'll go back to Krishna. So that's where we stopped in chapter 9. Now, chapter 10, Krishna describes his opulences on which a devotee can fix the mind. So it's a link. The 9th chapter, last sloka, he says we have to fix the mind on Krishna. And now he says how to fix mind on Krishna and remember him whenever he sees anything opulent, powerful, beautiful in this world. So if we see anything beautiful, we should definitely compare to compare that beauty to Krishna's, because this is just a reflection. The real beauty is coming from Krishna. So that's a nice pastime. I think I've shared this. So once Srila Prabhupada was visiting one of the temple and he was in the airport. And so devotees went to the airport to pick him up, and those days in 60s and all, they can go inside the airport to receive the VIP guest. So they were with Mridangas and Kartals, and brahmacharis were chanting Hare Krishna while Prabhupada was just coming. So instead of Prabhupada, their air hostess came. You know, air hostess, they are also looking so beautiful. So she came down, and this brahmachari just went on looking at her, chanting Hare Krishna, just looking. And then when he turned back, it was like Prabhupada in front. And it's the first time you're meeting a spiritual master. So he didn't know what to do, and he was a brahmachari. So Prabhupada's like, isn't she beautiful? So he's like, no, yes, no, because he could not lie to the spiritual master, and she was beautiful. So Prabhupada said, if the spark is so beautiful, just imagine the source. That means, Mami Vamsho Jiva, Loga Jiva, Buddha Sanada. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. We are minute spark. But Krishna, the absolute. So immediately Prabhupada remembered Krishna. Seeing the beautiful air hostess, he remembered Krishna, saying that if a spark from Krishna is so beautiful, how about Krishna's beauty? Right? So anything beautiful, any nice rose, if Prabhupada sees, he smells, and like if a rose is smelling so beautiful, so wonderful, what about Krishna's smell? And anything opulent, anything powerful, definitely it is coming from Krishna. So chapter 7 and 9, Lord Krishna explained how his different energies are working and to establish the devotion in firm conviction. And in chapter 10, he will explain the specific manifestation of opulences about so that our devotion increases by hearing more about Krishna's opulences. The more you hear about Krishna, the more we become fixed in Krishna, or the more we become attached to Krishna. That's why. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Sadhya Kavanai Pravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayodhai. So how is it possible to have a nice bhakti on us by hearing about Krishna, constantly hearing? Okay, so first 7 slokas is about understanding how Krishna is unknowable and is the source of the Shri Bhagavan Vaja Bhuya Eva Mahabaho Shrunu Me Paramam Vacha Yate Aham Priyamanaya Vakshyami Hitakamaya. The Supreme Personality Godhead said, listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Now, what were the reasons why Krishna gave the knowledge to Arjuna? Why did he impart this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? Yes, Charu Mataji.
Mataji, because Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, can I speak?
Yeah, you need digital hand. Yes, Charu Mataji.
Because Arjuna is friend and also non-envious.
Friend, non-envious, good. Yes, Manushi Mataji, what is the other reason?
Mataji, because he was his dear friend and he was the son of his aunt.
Okay.
And he was envious and he was a true devotee. He's always been a devotee of the Lord.
So he was a devotee. He was any other reasons, Mataji? Any other reason? Yes, kind and soft-hearted. Good. Yes. So these are the 5 reasons why Krishna chose Arjuna, or why this knowledge was given to Arjuna. So one is kind and soft-hearted. Next, he was a friend, Bhaktosi, Sakhacheti. He was a devotee, he was non-envious, right? So all these are the reasons. Kind, soft-hearted, non-envious, friend, pure devotee. Yes, definitely. So these are the different reasons why Krishna gave this knowledge to Arjuna. Okay. So here he says that just listen. Shrunu. Shrunu means listen. So first our process starts with listening. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So meaning of Bhagavan has been explained here by Parashara Muni. Right? What does he say? Aishwaryasya, Virasya, Yashasasya, Jnana, Vairagya. So everything incomplete. All wealth, all strength, all beauty, all fame, all knowledge, all renunciation is there in Krishna. Bhagavan. Right? So importance of hearing is given here. Like we should hear about the Supreme Lord from the Lord or his representative. So Prabhupada writes, the more one hears about the Supreme Lord, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the. So put in the chat who are the devotees who got liberated just by hearing. Just by hearing. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees. That will enhance one's devotional service. Parikshit Maharaj, yes. Who else? Who else? Everybody says about Parikshit Maharaj. Narad Muni is in Kirtana because Narad Muni already chant Narayan. Sages at Naimisharanya good. Prahlad, yes, he also heard in the womb of Kayadu. The 4 Kumaras, yes, heard from about the Lord from his past. Shukamuni is in Kirtana, okay. Who's the one who just heard about Krishna, never saw Krishna, but just heard about Krishna and fell in love with Krishna? Rukmini, yes. So Rukmini Devi just heard about Krishna. She could not even see Krishna, but just heard about Krishna, and she had a desire to have Krishna as her husband. So hearing, the more we should hear. So Rupa Goswami Maharaj says, thousands of years, so that I keep hearing about Krishna. And who's the one just about hearing about Krishna got delivered, got moksha? He was in a ghost form, but heard about Krishna and got delivered. Who was that? No one knows? There were 2 brothers and some Bhagavad Sakta was going on. Sachinandan Das Prabhu. Excellent. You got it right. Yes, Anita Mataji, who is that? Kadambri Mataji got right. So Dundukari, right? Dundukari and Gokarna. Okay, so what is that story, Mataji? Can you say how did Dundukari got delivered? In short, can you say? Or Prabhu? What happened? There were two brothers, right? Dundukari and Gokarna. Yes, Priyadarshini Mataji, you know.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, Dundukari got liberated by through listening to Srimad Bhagavatam recited by Gokarna.
Good. Yes. So what happened is Gokarna and Dundukari, both are brothers. And then what happened? Dundukari lived a very bad life and with prostitutes and everything. And then he was burned alive by the prostitutes and he became a ghost. And on the other hand, Gokarna, because he was born from a cow, his ears were like a calf, a cow. So it's called Go. Go means cow. Karna means ears. So Gokarna, his ears look like long, elongated ears. So Gokarna became a Bhagavad Pandit, and Dundukari, his brother, because he had an unnatural death, he became a ghost and he was not getting moksha. So he was going around. So he went to his brother and said, please deliver me. So Gokarna said, tomorrow onwards, there's going to be Bhagavad Katha happening for 7 days, Saptah. So you come and hide in a bamboo stick or in a tree, so like a bamboo stick, and hear Bhagavatam for 7 days. When you hear Bhagavatam, what happens after 7th day, you'll get moksha. So Dundukari was in a ghost form and it was very difficult for him to live, that his only intention was to get delivered, and he listened to Bhagavatam submissively, that on the 7th day of Bhagavad Saptah got over, the bamboo stick broke and Dundukari got the 400 Vaikuntha form and went back home, back to Godhead. So everybody was so shocked. How can Dundukari, who lived such a sinful life, became a ghost and got delivered on 7 days of hearing? We all heard Bhagavatam, but we all didn't get delivered. So Gokarna says, it's how you hear. There are different ways of hearing. Hear through one ear and leave through the other. Hear through one and just blabber it out, or hear through the ear and take it to the heart. Having fixed submissive hearing. So in that way, Gokarna got delivered. Dundukari got delivered. So that is a process of moksha, that is by hearing. Just by hearing. So importance of hearing is mentioned that Shrinvata Sakata Krishna. You have to hear about Krishna. Shrinvata Sakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayanda Stabathani Vidinodi Suhril Sadam. So when you hear about Krishna, what happens? All the abhadras just gets washed away. Like you have some dirty water in a glass, and you hold it beneath a tap which is flowing very fast. So what happens? The water will flow into the glass and all the dirty water flows out, overflows, right? And after 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, you can see there's clear water in the glass. What about the dirty water? It just went out. Similarly, when you keep pouring Krishna Katha into your body, into your mind and consciousness, all the negative things just overflows and just goes away. And then all good things comes. So in the 10.2 sloka, it says, no one knows Krishna, the mysterious origin of everything. Krishna is the cause of everything, but then nobody knows him. Name vidu suragana prabhavam nama harshayaha aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha aham adirhi devanam. Krishna says he is the cause of all the demigods. Adirhi devanam. Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages. So Krishna ate mud, in Vrindavan. Why? Why did he eat that Mridam Pakshan Leela? What is the hidden pastime? Why did Krishna eat mud? He is the Supreme Lord. You don't have to eat mud. He had a lot of butter. He is the son of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya. Yeah, Dinesh Prabhu, you can try. Hare Krishna. Can't hear you. Anita Mataji. Dinesh Prabhu, check your audio. I can't hear you.
Then only he can show Yashoda Maya, the universal form, no?
Otherwise, also he can show somehow. Okay, Dinesh Prabhu also says the same thing, to show the opulences to the mother. But why he wants to show to Yashoda Maya? He don't want to show. He was immediately after Yashoda Maya saw Krishna's Yoga Maya covered Yashoda Maya, because otherwise Valsalya Ras might get disturbed. So Krishna actually didn't want Yashoda Maya to know the opulences. No, that's not the reason why he ate mud.
show respect to Earth, Bhumi, Devi.
Okay, one way of putting it, yes. So actually it is said that Krishna used to lie a lot, no? He's Makan Chor and he is Choragraganyam Purusham Namami. So it is said once you lie, you need to do some prayashchitta. So in that way, he took some earth, yes, as mother said, to show respect. And as Shridevi mother said, yes, everything comes from earth. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. Like Krishna ate mud, similarly Nimai. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a young boy, Nimai, he was also eating the mud in Mayapur. And then Sachi Mata went and asked, why are you eating mud? And he says, everything comes from earth. Like I'm eating mud, or you eat vegetables, vegetables also coming from the earth. Then she told, no, it's different. The form, it's a source is same, but the use is different. And the pot of water, the pot, mud pot, and all that discussion goes on. But here in Vrindavan, what happened? All the demigods wanted to taste the Raja, in the sense the mud in which Krishna walked barefoot, right? His all the symbols in his lotus feet is still there. We can't see, but then pure devotees can realize that Krishna personally walked on that mud. So all the demigods, they worship Krishna and they wanted to taste the Vraj. So Krishna was thinking that if I start giving mud to Vraj to the demigods, there are 33 crores of demigods. We don't know everyone's name, but there are 33 crores mentioned in the Shastra. And so if you say Panchamukha Shiva, Lord Shiva has 5 faces. Brahma has 4 Chaturmukha. So like that, Shanmukha or Muruga has 6 faces. So each one has to get a drop of dust. So like 33 crores. So Krishna is like, anyway, all the demigods rest in my body. Like Aham Adirhi Devanam. This is the verse says that all the demigods. What is the proof that all the demigods rest in Krishna's body? What is the proof? So he thought, if I eat mud, all the demigods will get mud from my body. So Krishna ate the Vraj. Okay, that is one of the Leela, one of the reason why he ate mud. But what is the practical proof that all demigods come from Krishna? What's the practical proof? Ate mud to indicate he's more patient about his devotees, yes. Because the devotees also walk in that mud, and that Raj is there, which Krishna likes to eat. Yes. In Vishwarupa, he shows. Yes, Sridevi Mata, that's the right answer. So, yes, he's the creator and everything has come from him, Dinesh Prabhu. But then the practical proof is he showed in the Vishwarupa. You take any picture of Vishwarupa, the universal form, the Virat Rupa, you can see the demigods are also there in that Rupa. Okay, you can see Lord Shiva, Ganesha, and all in that Rupa. So, that's a practical proof that yes, Krishna, this is a theory part in the 10th chapter, but in 11th chapter, Krishna practically shows that yes, Adam Aham Adirhi Devanam. So Brahma Samhita says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradira Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body and is the origin of all. He has no other origin and is the prime cause of all cause. Not even the demigods or liberated sages can know Krishna fully because he's the origin of everyone, and everything including all the demigods and great sages have come from Krishna. Okay. 5 faces of Lord Shiva. I'm not sure, Mataji, but then I've heard that Panchamukha Shiva Bole, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Chaturmukha Brahma Bole, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. So it says Panchamukha Shiva Bole. But I don't know what are the faces, but I've just heard saying that Lord Shiva have 5 faces. So 10.2 continuing, it says scholarship is not a qualification to understand Krishna. Okay, so even the demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna. What to speak about scholars in this tiny planet? No one can understand Krishna, understand why the Supreme Lord comes to the planet as an ordinary human being. Okay, so why actually Krishna comes to do his pastime, to give pleasure to his devotees, right? That's why he comes. So we can keep speculating with our imperfect senses, but the impersonalists or Mayavadis do. But we can understand Krishna only by the mercy of Vaishnavas, only by the mercy of Krishna. And Bhakti. One can understand Krishna only by unprecedented mercy of Krishna and his devotees through bona fide books, by studying his words in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhaktiya mama vijanati, Krishna says. It's only through bhakti which we can approach Krishna, not otherwise. Yo mam ajam anadim cha veti loka maheshwaram asammuda samarteshu sarva papi pramuchyate. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginless, as the supreme lord of all the world, he only, undiluted among men, is free from all sins. So we should know Krishna as the unborn. Aja. Aja means unborn. Okay, so Krishna is unborn. Why? Because he is the supreme creator. Everything has come from Krishna. So he is unborn. Beginless. Adirhi Devanam, or Govindam Adi Purusham, he says, beginless. And he is the supreme world of all world. Bhoktaram Ichadavasam Sarvaloka Maheshan. So we should understand Krishna as the unborn Aja, beginless Anadir, Adir Govinda, and the supreme proprietor. Okay, so it's very rare of a person to know Krishna in truth. It says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kashchit yadadi siddhaye yadadam api siddhanam kashchit mam vedi tattvata. So one who understands Krishna as the supreme personality Godhead, unborn or Aja, the supreme proprietor, out of millions, one may endeavor, but not everyone will succeed. Why? Why doesn't everyone succeed in understanding Krishna? Why there's only a very few can understand? Kodi jnani file ek bhakta, like in koti jnanis, so many jnanis or knowledge person, only one will become bhakta. Why? Yes, Charu Mataji.
When Mataji, because Bahunam Janmanam and cases, like not many people can trust.
Yeah, but what is the reason? Yes, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prabhate Vasudeva Sarvedi. Yes, we can understand Krishna only after so many janmas, but there is some reason behind it, no?
Gurus,
They don't have to
Mataji, one who has been created. Mataji, one who has been created cannot understand the whole or the creator.
Okay, but that's not.
Guru's blessing has to be there. Guru's blessing has to be there, no matter.
Guru's blessing. Yes, more than that, we should get a right guru. Most of them get a bogus guru. That's the reason, right? So yes, mercy is needed. Submissive and pure devotion, yes, senses are imperfect, all that is right. But then most of them, they fall down. Why? Because they get bogus guru. The main reason why many are not able to understand Krishna is because they get a bogus guru. Why? Bogus guru will take you to some other path. He won't tell you the right things to do and everything. He'll try to make you God, or he'll tell something else that he is God, or some other manipulation happens because he's behind material things. He doesn't give you the right process or the path. So that's why many of them get deviated in the entities are taking birth and dying due to material attachment. Thus they are changing body and external energy. God comes to the material world as the self, same, unborn, and comes by his internal potence. His body is unchangeable. He is the supreme lord of all the world, right? So Krishna was existing before creation, and he is existing even after annihilation. So demigods were also created by Krishna. He is not created. Krishna is different even from the great demigods. Narayana Rudra Jayade, Narayana Brahma Jayade says. So anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. It cannot be contaminated by material reaction. So the conception is that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world. It's more or less a mental concoction, because there's nothing auspicious in the material world. Everything is inauspicious, but there is nothing inauspicious in the spiritual world. So, but if anything is done for Krishna, then everything is auspicious. Real auspiciousness depends on the activities in Krishna consciousness, right? So therefore, if we want our activities to be auspicious, then we should work under the direction of the Supreme Lord, under the spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. Then we'll be able to understand Krishna. So Krishna is, understanding Krishna as Veti Loka Maheshwan. So Krishna is the origin of all qualities. That's what 4 to 5 sloka says about Krishna being the origin of all good qualities. So 10.3 has a big purport. You can read how Krishna, Prabhupada mentions Krishna as being the unborn. Buddhi jnanam asammoha shama satyam dhamma shama sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo bhayam cha bhayam evacha ahimsa samada kushte stapo dhanam yatho yashaha bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva pratam vitaha. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt, illusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. So Krishna did the creation of all these activities. Different qualities, whether good or bad, all are created by Krishna. Nothing can manifest in the material world which is not in Krishna. So where does Krishna manifest all these qualities? Throughout the universe, right? In human society and the society of demigods. From whom are they created? Krishna creates for those who want to advance in Krishna consciousness, but the person has to develop from within. By devotional service, one automatically develops all good qualities. So you can see different qualities mentioned here. Intelligence is the power to analyze things in their proper perspective. So it's all coming from Krishna, the intelligent, right? So we say Krishna Bhaktas are the most intelligent. Why? Krishna Bhakta Bada Chatur. Why do you say those who worship Krishna is the most intelligent? Why? Yes, Neeraja Madhavi. Huh? You can unmute.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Can you hear? Mataji, because they are worshipping Krishna directly and not the demigods. Directly worshipping Krishna is...
Yes, you're right. So, we directly worship Krishna. What?
So that is intelligence. Instead of going through demigods, directly worshipping Krishna is the intelligent.
Yes. So that's why we are called as Sumedha. Sumedha means the most intelligent. And as Mataji said, directly worshipping Krishna, not going to the demigods, no more coming back. Right? If we worship the demigods, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartana. So Dinesh Prabhu says, yes, we are watering the root of the tree or feeding the stomach. Good. So that's Krishna Bhakti Karle Sarva Karma Kridahoy. Because Lord Krishna is the source of all things, Sachinananda Prabhu says, yes. So we are watering the root. It's enough. Like if we worship Krishna, no more coming back. But if we go through the demigods, that's all temporary things. For material things, you go to the demigods, and they called as Alpamedasa, less intelligent people, because they are asking for temporary things. And Krishna gives the intelligence. Yes, Mataji. Sarvanandi Mataji says Krishna gives the Buddhi Yoga, right? The intelligence to understand and how to go back to him. So Krishna gives. So that's why Krishna Bhakta is called the most intelligent. Okay. So once, I think I've shared this story so many times. So there was a king giving charity, and everyone was asking so many things, but they can ask only one thing from the king. So everybody's like, okay, one person asked for a car, a home, and that and this. And last, there was a person who told, I don't want anything from you. I just want you to come and stay in my house for one day. So everybody's like, what? So stupid he is. He's not intelligent. He's asking the king to come and stay in his house. He could ask any charity. The king would have given anything what he wants. But he's like, no, just come and stay in my house. So for the king to go and stay, the ministers were all worried because the person who asked was a poor man. He had a small hut, and the king cannot stay in a hut. Can a king stay in the hut? So what they did, they went and demolished that hut and built a big mansion for him. And there was no road through his house. So they made a big road because so that his chariot can go. And they made all facilities. There were no maid servants, so they made maid servants. They made a nice kitchen so that a royal dinner and lunch and everything could be served for the king for one day. So for one day, his house was converted to a mansion. He had a big road and a big car, everything available, so that the king stays. So the king came, stayed in his house and went back. And after that, you can't destroy that, no? So that person stayed in that house forever. So he got a house, he got car, everything. But he didn't ask for anything material. He asked for the king. So similarly, Krishna devotees go and ask for Krishna, you come to my house, you come to my heart and stay. I don't want anything from you. And nadanam najanam nasun. I don't want anything. But then just you. Like Arjuna chose Krishna. Krishna even said, I won't take the weapon. So Duryodhana's like, Arjuna is so unintelligent. He's asking Krishna to come and as a chariot driver. And what is the use? Krishna won't even lift up. But Arjuna became the most intelligent. Why? Because you know how the battle twisted, and then Bhagavad Gita was advised and Arjuna won because Rishikesha or Krishna was there. And wherever there is Narayan, Lakshmi Devi follows. So you don't have to specifically ask for Dhanam Dehi, Putra Dehi, that this, I want that, I want this. No. Krishna will give, but then Krishna Bhakta just want Krishna, okay? And he doesn't have any material desires, but Krishna fulfills it. So this is our most intelligent, right? You ask for the king, the whole facilities come to you. So not like the demigods. So knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion. So knowing distinction between matter and spirit, that is called real knowledge. This is called Sankhya philosophy, to understand about matter and spirit, that soul and the body. And it can be achieved when one acts without hesitation based on understanding the transcendental philosophy. Nothing should be accepted blindly, but with care and caution. And asammoha, tolerance and forgiveness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinatapi sunichana, tarorapi sahishna, like more tolerant than a blade of, humble than a blade of grass and tolerant than a tree. Very difficult to practically apply in life, but still we can try. So excusing minor offenses of others. What does Krishna do? Okay. So using a minor offense to us, yeah, forgiving our deficiency. So Krishna also does the same thing. Who's that example? Any example where Krishna forgave their offenses and gave them mercy? Any example? Anyone in the Indra? Yes, good. Indra after the Govardhan Leela. Yeah, Krishna forgave his offenses. Brahma, good. Of the Brahma Vimohan Leela. Shishupal, nice. Yes. Krishna forgave Shishupal for 100 times, right? Yes, Mataji. Sarvananda Mataji. What's the example?
Mataji, Putana, and then Jagai Madai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Haribol, yes. So that's a very nice example. So Putana, yeah, Aho Bagiyam Stanakala Kudam Jijam Sayapyaya Asadvi. Labe Gadim Datri Uchitam Tatonyam Kamba Dayalim Sharanam Rajami. So who can be more merciful than Krishna, who gave the position of mother, Labe Gadim Dhatri Uchitam, like got the position of a mother, who Putana, but came to give poison. So Krishna didn't see the poison part. The minor offenses was avoided, right? And Jagai Madai, yes, when he Madai hit Nityananda Prabhu and was bleeding, Nityananda Prabhu just forgave Jagai Madai and gave Krishna prema. Yeah, Gajendra and Hu Gandharva, yes, Gajendra, forgiving minor offenses. Gajendra didn't do any offense as such, but actually he delivered both of them. Okay, so all these are different devotees who try to insult Krishna, but Krishna tried to forgive them. There's a minor offenses will be like you can see Jagannath's eyes are so big. Why? Because he zooms the services done by the devotees and forgives the offenses. Kaliya, good. Kaliya is the only demon in Vrindavan who didn't get killed by Krishna. Krishna just depoisoned Kaliya because Kaliya took shelter of Yamuna, a pure devotee. Right? So in that way, Kaliya got the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna on his hoop. So in that way, offenses were not taken care. Truthfulness, facts presented as they are for the benefit of others, not distort truth for some personal interest. Control of the senses. Senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. It has to be used for serving Krishna. Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevana. And control of the mind. Misusing of the thinking power to spend one's time pondering over money. Power of thought should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings and to present authoritatively. Power of thought should be developed in association with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Happiness and distress, always considering in relation to what is favorable and unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Okay, if Anukulesa Sankalpam, Pratikulesa Varjana. If something is favoring Krishna consciousness, please accept it. Like you have nice devotee friends, you have nice satsang, you accept it. But some non-devotee association making you go away from Krishna, just ignore them. Bhava, birth. For soul, there is no birth and death. Fearless. Payam, Viryabhineveshasyat. Abhayam Satvam. Abhayam. Fear caused due to absorption, illusion, and energy, due to worrying about the future. Fearlessness is possible only in Krishna consciousness. Why? Because a child, if you want to cross the road, he can just close the eyes and catch his mother's or father's hand and cross. Because he has complete faith that the father or mother will take care of him completely. So a devotee knows Krishna is there to take care. So he's not anything to fear. He's fearless. Non-violence. Not do anything which would put others in misery or confusion or distress. It's called Jiva Himsa. That's one of the weeds of devotional service. Jiva Himsa, putting others into trouble. Equanimity, Samatha. Right? Freedom from attachment and aversion. Accept whatever is favorable to Krishna consciousness and reject unfavorable. Satisfaction. Not be eager to gather more and more material things. One should be satisfied with what is obtained by Lord's grace. Austerity and penance is voluntarily accepting hardships. So that is called austerity. Okay. Tapasya means voluntarily accepting, like rising early and taking a bath. We can sleep in the Brahma Muhurta, but why do we get up? Right? And fasting on Ekadashis. You need not fast, but still you fast. Because that's voluntarily accepting hardship, suffering for a higher purpose. Okay, that's called tapasya or penances. Charity, give 50% of income to Krishna consciousness done by Rupa Goswami or to persons who are engaged in Krishna consciousness, like the prostitute who got converted by Haridas Thakur. A man is famous when he is known as a great devotee. I still remember when Henry Ford, Alfred Ford, when he met Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada asked, where is your grandfather, Henry Ford? It's like he died. So Prabhupada said, I want you to become famous, not as a businessman, but as a devotee. And yes, he gave 500 crores for the Mayapur project. And now he is a famous devotee of Krishna, helping the Krishna conscious project. No? So this is quality of a devotee. So all these are the qualities which comes from Krishna. It's already there in Krishna. That's why it is seen in the devotee also. Maharshaya saptapurve chakvaro manava stata madbhava manasa jata yesham loka imam praja. The 7 great sages and before them the 4 other great sages and manus, the progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. So all the rishis have come from Krishna. So that's why Krishna is called Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha means the Garbhodakshai. Vishnu is also called Hiranyagarbha because it's referred to Lord Brahma, who is the original creator born out of the energy of the Lord. So Brahma is also referred to as Hiranyagarbha, but the Garbhodakshai Vishnu is also referred to as Hiranyagarbha. Hiranya means what? You can put in the chat. What do you mean by Hiranya? Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. There are 2 words. Hiranya is gold, right? Yes. So Hiranya is gold and Garbha means from the abdomen, Garbha, like from the abdomen. So from the abdomen, bed is Kashipu. Yeah, Hiranyakashipu. Hiranya is gold, Kashipu is bed. And Udar, yes, the abdomen. So in the womb. So the Lord had gold in the womb, in the sense the planetary system, everything is coming from the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, right? The navel. So that's why he is Hiranyagarbha. So yes, so all the everyone, Patriyachas, all the rishis, everyone have come from the Lord. The four great sages are born from Brahma, the four Kumaras. The 7 great sages from Brahma is Kashyapa, Atri, Vashishta, Vishwamitra, Gautama, Jamal, Agni, and Bharadwaja. And the 14 Manus also have come from the progenitors have come. So Krishna is Prapitamaha. He's the father of our father. Right? Brahma is our father, right? Because he is a secondary creator. So Brahma is known as Pitamaha, and Krishna is Prapitamaha. Okay. My network is stable. Etam vibhutim yogasya mama yoveti tatvadaha. So avikalpena yogena yujyate natra samshayaha. One who is actually convinced of the opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. So why is Krishna saying all these Ahamadirhi Devanam and so? Hare Krishna, sorry, I was having a network issue. Hare Krishna.
So in that I give a chat about meditation which is the people in the hoping at the
Okay. So Krishna is, yeah, further knowledge of his opulence. Krishna is mentioning the further. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now?
Yes, Mataji.
You see the screen now?
Yes.
I have a network problem.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You're not able to see the screen?
Not very clear. It's static, Mataji. You're frozen. I mean, the picture is frozen.
Hare Krishna. Better now?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, yes. Okay. So everything Krishna is lead to surrender. So Krishna is telling everyone to surrender to him. That's why he's giving this knowledge, right? It's the importance of understanding Krishna's opulences so that we become more fixed in devotional service. Unless one is firmly convinced in the different opulences of the Lord, we cannot engage in devotional service. Generally, people know Krishna is great. So Prabhupada mentions that we know Krishna, God is great. We don't know how great he is. So the detail we should know. If one knows actually how God is great, then naturally he becomes a surrendered soul and engage himself in devotional service of the Lord. Otherwise, what happens when some Mayavadis and non-devotees come and tell something, we get disturbed, right? If someone in the house says, why are you chanting Hare Krishna, just leave it. And then you get disturbed. Sometimes you may not chant or you may postpone your chanting. So many things can happen. So in order to increase one's interest in the loving service of the Lord, Krishna is giving this knowledge. One should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is. For by knowing the greatness of Krishna, one will be able to be fixed in sincere devotional service. Okay, so we'll start the Chaturshloki next week. We'll have a small breakout room. After that, you can post the attendance Mataji. Explain the importance of knowing Krishna's opulences in detail. You can refer to 10.7. Okay, a short breakout room. So you need to say Krishna's opulences. What is the importance of knowing Krishna's opulences in detail? Why should we know about Krishna's opulences, and what is the... Yeah, I put the question in the chat. You can copy it. So just have to go through verse number 7. And we have a quick break room and back.
Breakout rooms are not mentioned, Mataji.
What happened?
No, not mentioned, Mataji. Which room to join?
Oh, sorry, I didn't open. Okay. Okay, so Sridev Mataji can post the attendance link. Everybody is back.
Mataji.
Okay, so we will start with which is the room. Arvind Prabhu is from room number 1. Okay, you can start, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, we all discussed the opulence of our Lord Krishna. We understand that only with the mercy of Lord Krishna and the full-hearted devotional service only we can understand his opulence. We all understand that by reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam that this entire universe has been created through the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma and all the 4 Kumars. They have all been created through his mercy only. So once we understand that although Krishna is unborn, he is the only source of birth of every creation, then only by pure devotional service we can understand his opulence.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Okay. Yes, Deval Mataji.
Yeah, I just wanted to add with what Prabhu said. So by knowing his opulence only, we'll get firm faith and firm conviction that God is great. And because of that firm conviction, we will tend to surrender and do devotional service with full devotion, unalloyed devotion. So that is why we need to know the opulence. Just by chanting, we might not get the faith in God, but by reading books, by knowing his opulences, that is how we can surrender and we'll get full devotion. We can do unalloyed devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Okay, so that's from room number 1. Okay, so from room number 2, Anita Mataji, Kandamli Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, Rekha Mataji, Sachin Prabhu, and Sarvanandri Prabhu. I unmute everyone. You can unmute and speak.
Mataji,
Yes,
room
who's
number
speaking?
1, another point I would like to add that all creations are imperfect and Krishna is perfect. And the created ones cannot describe or understand Krishna without his mercy. So we have our own imperfections or deficiencies, as a result of which only through devotional service we can understand Krishna.
Yes. For that, we should know the opulence of Krishna. Good.
Yeah. For that, knowledge is essential, and knowledge comes through knowledge. What is the basic knowledge? Knowledge is that Krishna is unborn, he is beginningless, and is the supreme controller, proprietor of everything. This is the perfect knowledge.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay. So, yes, Anita Mataji.
Actually, what we have discussed is that Krishna, God is great. We have a common tendency that every person has, that we will follow the great man, like that. When we know that God is such great, so it is easy for us to surrender, to be a surrendered soul. So we will engage in devotional service with sincerity, because we are surrendering to a great soul. Second thing, that when we know all the opulences of the Supreme Lord, it is easy for us to know our constitutional position. We are the eternal servant, and our duty is to serve him and to please him. Means everybody wants to have such opulences of, means he is perfect in all the way. So we are following a perfect person. So everything will be perfect for us. Everything will be perfect for him, like that. So it is easy for us to follow the devotion service with sincerity as an eternal servant. It is easy for us to accept us as eternal servant of the Lord. And the third point we discussed is that here it is given that Lord Brahma created all means Sanat Kumaras, Lord Shiva and all. So he is the forefather, and Krishna, Brahma is created from Lord Krishna. So he is the Prapitamaha. So every knowledge, so from this we know that every knowledge came from Lord Krishna only, because he is the father of all the creatures. So it is easy for us to accept the disciplic succession. And the knowledge came from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita as the true knowledge. So there is no doubt in that. So we can engage in devotional service with full sincerity, and we can follow all the regulative principles without any doubt in our mind. So that will help in sincere devotional service.
Yes, ma'am. Hare Krishna. Okay, so what about room number 3? Charu Mataji, Neeraja Mataji, Priyadarshini Mataji, and Sri Devi Mataji.
Unable to unmute Mataji. Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah. It's obvious that Lord's potencies are inconceivable. But then, unless he tells us, as he has done here, we would not know it. Just as in the head of a company, like there's a ceremony called the introduction ceremony, unless the chief of the organization does not introduce himself, we are not able to know his greatness. We think he's one of the staff. So that's what Lord has been doing here. He's been actually introducing himself to us. That's very important because his potencies are just inconceivable. And for our imperfect eyes and our senses, they are absolutely beyond reach. So why should we get convinced? Once he tells us, we get convinced. Now, what is the reason for getting convinced is this, that once we are convinced of his greatness, we are very sure that the person whose actually resort we are seeking is a great person, and we are sure we are protected rightly under him. So we get that confidence under him. And automatically, our surrenderance becomes fearless, and then our devotion becomes absolutely unalloyed, ahituki, apratihata. And then our recognition of the person, you 100% are able to may recognize the person as he is. That's very important to know his opulences. And lastly, many of us, we have been resorting to devotion, demigod worship. We would not be convinced that demigod worship was secondary unless God had told us, Lord had told us very clearly in very specific words that demigods are a part and parcel of us as we are. So watering the root is so important, and feeding the stomach is so important. So the worship is the right person to reach all its different parts is very important. So the knowing his opulences makes us rest assured that worshipping Krishna is very important, and once you worship him, all things are taken care of. And obviously the demigods will have no sulk about this, because they also know that they are not at all equal to or more important than Lord. We do not know that. So all this knowledge is for us, for the living entities, Mataji. That's what I comprehended from this.
Yes, very nice. So that introduction part, that was nice actually. So the introductory part, yes. Unless they introduce themselves, how will we know, right? So that is very important. Like in schools and all, we get introduced to different aspects as we go up the first standard, second standard, 10th standard. We know a little bit. In the general knowledge, everything comes. So unless Krishna introduce himself, like how are we going to know? So that's why later on he had to come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to practically show us. So theory part Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, but then we should know about his opulences. So there are 3 things always we should take care of: is Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So Shastras are very, very important to have a firm foundation. So Krishna is giving us opulences, and this opulences, what we see in the material world, is just 1/4. The rest 3/4 is in the spiritual world. So unless you understand this 1/4, how will we be able to understand the 3/4? Right? So we should know, we should appreciate the spiritual world by seeing this material world. And Krishna is saying so much of his opulences, we become fixed Krishna's words, and keep hearing and hearing, faith increases. It says that when you associate with devotees, your karma gets destroyed. So when your karma gets destroyed, the faith increases in Krishna. So when the more the faith increases, that's possible only by hearing, right? Unless we hear about Krishna's opulences, we won't surrender to Krishna. We won't, we'll take Krishna as one of the demigods, or we won't think Krishna as the source of everything. We still will hang on with demigod worship. We won't completely worship Krishna. We know the theory and all that in our brain, but then we won't practically apply it in life. So unless we associate with devotees and repeatedly keep hearing from Krishna, Prabhupada's like the best way is to hear about Krishna from Krishna. So Krishna says, you accept it. That's the best way. Arjuna did the same thing. When Krishna asked after the 18 chapters, that is after 45 minutes of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna asked, now what is your decision, Arjuna? I told you everything. So what did he say? Whatever you say, Karishye vachanam tava. Karishye vachanam tava means Krishna, whatever you say, I follow. So that's what Bhagavad Gita is about. Okay. So
Mataji, can I add one point? Can I add one point, Mataji, which I got just now? Mataji, Krishna is the only person who has got all the 6 opulences. But the other demigods has either got only 1 opulence or 2. But Krishna has got all the opulences.
Yeah, so that's why he's Bhagavan. Yes, all the 6 opulences in full. He has in full. So Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arasabhritya. So sometimes before coming to Krishna consciousness, I considered Krishna as one of the demigods because there's so many demigod worshippers happening in my altar. So Krishna is also one among them. But then when they said Krishna as a supreme personality Godhead, we were not convinced. Okay, initially it was like, okay, we see why Krishna, why not the demigod? So that thing that comes. But then as you keep practicing Krishna consciousness, as you keep hearing from the Shastras again and again and repeatedly, what happens? The faith comes, the firm faith. Yes, what I'm doing is right. Sometimes you doubt, really, will this process work? What am I doing? I'm stuck somewhere. Am I doing offense to the demigods by not worshipping them? Because from childhood, I've been worshipping the demigods. And suddenly, how do I take them from the altar? And how do I not chant their names? So, but then when we know Abrahma Bhuvanar Loga Punaravartana, even if we worship the demigods, we're going to come back into this material world, or you go to heavenly planets, you're going to come back. And only if you worship Krishna, you're going to go back to Godhead and no more Punarjanma. So when you keep hearing and again, then we get convinced. It's not easy. The faith doesn't come just like that in a day or something. No, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. The realization comes. The theory part, anybody can become a scholar by knowing Shastras and slokas. But then to apply it in life, that's why we make a video call, for initiation. Those who have applied for initiation, we make a WhatsApp video call and ask them to show their altar. See the altar, the puja room, how fixed you are in Krishna consciousness. So that's just a part of it. But then because you're taking initiation from Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, and the Sampradaya says Krishna is the supreme personality Godhead, but practically, how are you worshipping Krishna? Okay, it doesn't mean you put the demigods to the side. No, you doesn't insult them. You don't insult them. But the worship has to be given to Krishna. And you worship the demigods for Krishna Bhakti. You worship Tulsi Maharani to give Krishna Bhakti. You worship Lord Ganesha to take away the obstacles from our path. So the more and more we get convinced in Krishna consciousness, then you become fixed. You come to the Nishta stage. You won't fall down. Whatever happens, we won't fall down. So that's why we should keep hearing. Okay. No, it's not offending when you stop demigod worship, Surendra Prabhu, because when you worship Krishna, you are worshipping the master of the demigods. The demigods will become satisfied. Because that's the example, you're putting food to the stomach. Do you have to feed the hand and the leg separately? No. How do you feed? You have to put it in the stomach, and the stomach distributes the energies to everyone, right? So you don't have to water the fruit and the leaf separately. But if you pour water to the root, won't the fruit be happy? Yes, I'm going to get water. Or won't the leg or hands be happy if you put food to the stomach? Yes, I'm going to get nutrients. So definitely they also get satisfied. Demigods also get satisfied. Just now we learned that that Mrida Bhakshan Leela, where Krishna ate the mud, and Krishna says all the demigods are in his body. They are part and parcel of Krishna. So they get satisfied. You're not offending them by stopping their worship. Okay. Yes, Sarvanandini Padmadevi Dasimadaji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Mataji, are we allowed after this thing, initiation, are we allowed to keep the demigods in our altar?
Actually, no, because it is said that because you worship the Guru Parampara and you go directly to the Panchatatvas, and through the Guru Parampara, the Panchatattva, the Shan Goswamis, and then Krishna. But then you definitely should have the Panchatattva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all. But see, what we suggested them is because, see, husband may not be a devotee, a wife may not be a devotee, or the grandparents or the in-laws may not be devotees. They are still worshipping demigods. You can't remove them from the altar, no? So what they do is, to the side they keep the demigods, and the center, in the top, it will be Krishna, and the offering is bhog is done to Krishna, and then it is offered to the demigods. So in that way, some family, they are still continuing it, Mataji. So it's not offense as such, because if it's a joint family and you can't just offend, if you become a devotee of Krishna, it doesn't mean you, disrespect others now in the family. So it's like not right. So in that way, you don't hurt them. So in that way. But then Krishna should be there definitely in the altar, and the worship is done. But the whole family is Krishna conscious, then slowly you can remove them, and main focus can be on to Krishna. But even if they are in the altar, your consciousness should be that I should ask for Krishna Bhakti, not for material things. Because when you ask for material things, Lord Shiva is Ashutosh, he gets really pleased easily. He start giving material things. Slowly our Bhakti decreases slowly, because you get lost in Maya. So the consciousness is important, Bhakti. You keep or not, what you pray to them is important.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Kadambri Mataji, yeah. So the Vigraha, what they do, sometimes they put it in the river in a flowing way. If the Vigrahas are broken, you should not worship them. So it said that you should not throw it anywhere. You better throw it in a place that's a water body where the water flows. They put it there, or to the side of the altar. They keep it to the sides of the altar. That's what.
Or under some people tree or something we can keep, no Mataji?
Some tree, yeah. They keep so that people don't step on it. No.
Yeah.
Yes. So see, we're not insulting them, or we are not offending them. We just focus on Krishna. That's it. Your focus is on Krishna because you want to go back to Krishna. And the demigods, you ask for the Krishna Bhakti. That's the best thing you can ask for. Okay.
Mataji, I spoke to one devotee, very ardent devotee, and she told me that since they are, so we have to burn it. We can't, like, if we throw in dustbin, it's a very big offense. So we have to burn the picture, even though it's is it like allowed to burn the Lord Krishna's picture if it's stone?
Why? If it's stone, why do you burn it? No, you don't burn it actually. That's what I told. They put it in a river, or they put it somewhere where nobody steps on it. Don't burn them, because picture is also the Lord. The Lord appears in different ways. In a clay form, mud form, metal. So it can also appear in the mind, also in the picture form. So picture is stone, and don't burn it off. I never heard anyone saying burn it, but just say that either don't use it and then keep it somewhere in your house, or you want to discard it. I've seen that people put it in the river.
Mataji, she claimed that Srila Prabhupada only said that like we should burn it because Agni is pure.
Ask for reference. I don't know. You can just check for one source. Wikipedia, where Prabhupada said about.
And Mataji, her mother is a Srila Prabhupada's disciple. So she that like Srila Prabhupada said that we should burn it because it should not go to the dustbin because it's a huge offense. And since Agni is pure.
Yeah, it should not go to the dustbin. But about burning the picture, I've never heard about it. But if Prabhupada have quoted it, yes, definitely we can do it. But you can always search for reference whether Prabhupada have really said it. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.